Yeah, so I got back last night at like midnight, and there's no easy way out of Buffalo. You know what I mean? Like it was
Mhm.
you either fly to Detroit or you fly to Chicago. And so I'm flying back out of Buffalo. The only decent connection was 5:40 on Monday night. Otherwise, it was like a 7 a.m. bird. But after a Bills tailgate, flooring it for basically 36 hours straight after our show with the Missing Curfew Boys, I was like, there's no way I'm making a 7 a.m. flight on Monday morning. It's just not physically possible. So I fly to Buffalo 5:40. We're delayed till, I would say probably 6:40. So now my connection in Chicago is getting tight. And we land on the tarmac in Chicago and we're not moving. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Now it's getting to the point where we've been sitting on the tarmac for a half hour and it's 7:15 and my flight from Chicago to AZ is at 7:55. So the guy comes on, the flight attendant via the captain, and is like, hey, we're going to start taxiing to the gate, but it's a 15-minute taxi to the gate. So we get delayed again, and we finally get to the gate at about 7:38. And I checked the United app, and it says the gate is closing for my next connection at gate G8 at 7:40. So I got 2 minutes to get to this next connector, and thank God I was sitting pretty close to the front. So I grab my stuff, and I'm like, there's no way I'm making this flight. It says on the United app that from where I'm at gate F28 to gate G8 is roughly a 13-minute walk. And I got 2 minutes to get there. So I say, fuck it. I'm like, well, this is the last bird out of Chicago. What do I have to lose other than try to run a full-on sprint to my next gate? So I get out of there, and Auzzo, I start hauling. I haven't run this fast since probably we did the mile test at UND about a decade ago, maybe even longer.
Mhm.
I run a sub 5-minute mile. Like my phone tells me I'm running anywhere between 12 and 13 miles an hour. Like I'm absolutely huffing it. Like I got my roller bag and I got a duffel bag, but I got on the top, and it's one of those FTL bags. Shout out to FTL. So it's connected nicely onto my roller bag. I almost take out 4 or 5 people in O'Hare while I'm, maneuvering my way, shuffling in and out like it's fast and furious, but I'm on feet. I'm legit running 12 or 13 miles an hour, so which is good for a 5-minute mile. So I finally get to the gate after legit running a 5-minute mile, and they're like, oh my God, sir, you made it. I go, with how much time? They go 17 seconds. So I get on that plane, and I'm like huffing and puffing. I'm selling to myself. I don't know if you saw the video I posted, but I was really foaming at the mouth.
Mhm.
But I got on that bird. And when you do like a really intense cardio workout like that, Auzzo,
Yep.
your lungs fill up with blood.
Oh, yeah.
So I was battling that the entire way back to Phoenix. I don't even know if it was worth it because how much like mucus I was puking out. I bet everyone around me was just grossed out.
Yeah.
But it was just all this mucus was coming out of me. But I can't believe I fucking made that flight. And my back today was so locked up from doing that because I'm pushing a roller bag that weighs probably 30 pounds. The duffel's probably 15. And I'm doing a 5-minute mile trying to get on this fucking bird. I make it. I get on the flight. I celebrate to myself. Like I yell, woo! And everyone's like looking at me like, this guy's a maniac. Because it was late at night. It was 8 p.m. or whatever. But it was one of my better feats as of late. That because if I would have missed that, I mean, I've been on the road for 8 days already. I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, get me on that plane. And actually,
what a feeling.
Yeah, it was one of those that you get on that flight and nobody else cares, but you're just selling to yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, you mentioned you mentioned you get that feeling where you're like coughing up blood.
Yeah.
Is that actually blood going in there? Like, what is that?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know the science of it. We'd have to ask someone that actually knows, but I think it's your lungs fill up with these air bubbles of either blood or mucus. I don't know, or phlegm. I don't know what it is, but you know the feeling,
It's
right?
something. Yeah. It legit feels like you're coughing on blood.
Yeah, you'd always get it after like a really.
that too.
Yeah, you'd always have. After like a really hard bag skate, you would get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt. So I think it was like 0.9 miles. It was just under a mile, and I did it in 5 minutes flat. So, needless to say, I still got it. But yeah, that's how the Let It Snow tour ended on this side of 2025. It was pretty good, and I was so hung too. You gotta factor that in too. You know what I mean? Like I was hung. Like I did a workout earlier that day. I did that when I sent you that Natalie girl that workout. But I was hurting from that. I was hurting from a hangover, and then I ran a mile.
Hey, talk about spitting up blood. I did that workout too, and I felt like I was coughing up blood at the end of it.
What dumbbells were you using for the squat to press? Like 50s?
50s. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I usually use too.
Because that one gets you.
Yeah, that's the hardest one.
Oh yeah.
And then the med ball, the slam with the jump is tough.
That also gets you going. Yeah, the other ones are kind of easy. Those are the ones that are like, holy fuck.
Yeah, and for like a 20-minute workout, it kind of makes you feel like a pussy.
It does, but it's like those, what do they call them?
CrossFit kind of.
CrossFit shit, yeah. You're just like cramming a workout in. You're kind of just doing cardio and weightlifting at the same time. I've been doing a little more of those, Jordan, because, right now in my life, time is money. So I've stopped my 2-hour workouts. I've just been doing those. But, Jordan, I did want to ask you about, I saw that the tour had to reschedule Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And I just wanted to get the down low on that. What was it, weather in Buffalo, or what? Did you guys cancel beforehand?
Yeah, so we basically made a decision on Friday before we went to Buffalo when we were sitting in Chicago, waiting to get on our bird to go to the Rust Belt, and the juice wasn't worth the squeeze at this time. I think as we navigate through the tour, we have to be more cognizant of what days we can do shows and in what cities. Like our blue blood cities, like Chicago, for example, on a Wednesday, that crowd was unbelievable at Zanies. It was sold out. But in Pittsburgh, to sit in Pittsburgh for 3.5 days with hotels, travel, and the amount of tickets we sold, we just felt it was better to reschedule, go back on a weekend, fill the room of the Improv there with 200-300 people versus maybe doing sub 100 in a 300 or 400 person room. You know what I mean? We took a chance on Pittsburgh and Milwaukee. Now, Pittsburgh's one of our better cities, Auzzo, but for a Wednesday, it's just tough to get people out. So we just felt, let's go back to Pittsburgh and let's do it the right way where we're not losing a ton of money as a startup. That was basically the call. It's tough though, because
that makes sense.
As dumb as it sounds, like people travel in for these shows. So I did feel really bad in that sense, but ultimately,
yeah, it's a tough call. I mean,
it is. And I don't like to cancel on shit either. Like we're not just bailing because we got too drunk in Buffalo. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just, it's a tough, I mean, me and, I'm in the office with Dally. Dally's from Grand Forks, kind of knows you a little bit. We were talking about it, like, you guys having shows on either Sunday night or it's a Wednesday or Tuesday, and there's people showing up, and we're like, God damn, that's pretty impressive. Like, fuck, like, we ain't going anywhere on a fucking Wednesday or a Sunday night, and these people are showing up. So we're like, fuck, like, that's pretty cool, because anyone can kind of fill a room on a Friday, Saturday night, but it does take a little, you got to have some jam to fill up a room on a Sunday night or a Wednesday. So that makes total sense.
Yeah. And so like, we were just like, we'll get back there. Everyone was cool. Everyone that I was messaging, like they get it, as we kind of just, it was our first actual real tour too, like putting together a string of cities. I mean, we did a 3 and 4 with travel every single day, which was actually a grind in itself. It felt like I was kind of back in the American League where you got to gut it out. And, we did a show in Chicago, our best show to date at Zanies, which was a legendary club. And we were able to put 160 people in there, sell it out on a Wednesday at 9:15 p.m. And then, you ride that high of like the coolest experience you've ever done with all these icons and comedy. Like every single comedic legend has played at that Zanies club. It's been around since the 50s. You look on the walls, Auzzo, is Rob Schneider, Kevin Hart, Jim Gaffigan, Chris Farley, Spade. It was nuts. So we did that, and we were riding that high. We get out of there at like 3 a.m. on Wednesday after kind of just chopping it up with the club managers and shaking hands, signing babies afterwards. And I didn't even drink. I had one shot on stage. And then you roll that over to Milwaukee the next day where, you got to drive 2 hours to get to the show, do your prep, get on stage, do the show, meet and greet, get back at 2 or 3 in the morning again, and then go to Buffalo. So the grind is real. I wasn't even drinking. Like I drank obviously in Buffalo when we got to the Bills game and shit like that. But yeah, it was cool.
Is that where you're doing them, Jordan? Was like comedy clubs? Is that what you're kind of targeting as venues?
We're trying to now. Yeah. Yeah. We got a couple ins with like a manager guy that is he's opened up for Bob Saget in the past. His name's Mike Young, and he tours with that Sebastian Manasakulo or whatever. Yeah. So he's helped us out with that. And that Zany's was the coolest venue we've done for sure. It was actually unreal, man. Like I was like, wow, like we're in an arena right now. Like this
that looked National League. The pictures, I don't know if you had a professional photographer taking those pictures, but it looked National League. Like those were all time. Like I'd have some of those hanging up in my house.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. It's just like I don't know. As dumb as it sounds, Auzzo, it's kind of humbling. You know what I mean? Like it kind of shows you when you get on the road, like the proof of your work is starting to gain a following. And just makes you hungrier to get back out there. I think it's not like we're a massive show. We have 9,000 Instagram followers, but when you can put 160 people of your people in a building on a Wednesday night at 9:15, like that's a graveyard shift. Let's call it what it is. And they took a chance on us as a legendary club. And afterwards, the manager's like, I don't know what you guys have, but it's different. You just have a bunch of coked out hockey fans that are absolutely nuts. So they're like the WWE of comedy. I'm like, yeah, like that's kind of like our people, man. He's like, yeah, they're nuts. And he's like, you guys crushed it. So, and that guy's seen, all the greats come through, and it's not like we're comparing ourselves to that, but we definitely have that cult. And that high is crazy afterwards when you do a show like that. And
I wanted to ask, I mean, that's gotta like, I think part of the lure of being an athlete is, performing in front of people. Obviously, you're playing a game in front of people, you're performing in front of someone. That's got to feel pretty similar to maybe even more nerve-wracking going up on that stage and putting on a show versus like stepping on the ice for a big hockey game.
Yeah, I would say it's, for me personally, it's way more nerve-wracking. And I mean, we've done 15 of them now and things like that, but getting on that stage I felt like a prize fighter walking out to that stage through the crowd, because at Zany's you walk literally through the entire crowd. I'm like, holy fuck, this place is sold out. We had no idea it was going to be sold out. I'm like, Jesus, all right, well, I guess here we go. And then I saw a couple of my hometown buddies that obviously I knew were coming to the show, but that kind of brought me back to just a little bit of ease. I saw my buddy Louie and Alex Watsky and these guys there. So that kind of just made me feel like, all right, like, well, fuck, I got my boys here. We're all good. You get on stage, but it feels like you're stepping on the ice for like a playoff game. But then when you get up there, you don't have any shifts off. It's just you and your buddy riffing. So there's not much time to think. It's just basically improv, and every line in your head, you basically are like, well, I have to make these people laugh because that's why they paid to be here. And the crowd was unreal. The high though, I will say that I think the high is more than
has to be
a normal game. I don't know. I was riding that high for 3 or 4 days. Like I'm just coming down from it. It was awesome. And then the cool thing is though, it's like you do that, you think that's like your Stanley Cup. And then you go into Milwaukee where you don't sell as many tickets and it's a little bit of a different atmosphere. And now you're kind of back in the jungle a little bit. And you're like, oh, fuck, well, nothing's going to be as good as that. Well, you still have to give a good show, right? It brings you back down to life quick. And you have to adjust to a different room. And it gives me like the thought of any performer, like how just like you when you played hockey or like us, every game's different, man. And you're only as good as your last game. You really are.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like, obviously you probably have like the same framework, right? Like the same outline where you want to go, but are you like, how much is improv? Like how different are these shows night in, night out?
Yeah. I mean, that was our first one doing like back-to-back or 3 and 4. So we went into Chicago with no real plan. and it just so happened to just be Flow State University where everything hit. The crowd was unbelievable, like I said. So we took a little bit of that framework into Milwaukee, but we also had people that were doing a back-to-back from the Chicago show and Milwaukee as fans. So we're like, well, we don't want to offer the same show. We can use maybe some of the jokes, like the Diddy jokes or the Epstein or the Mike Obamas, the ones we can always revert back to that we know we're going to hit. But we still want to bring a different show because at the same time, we're 95% improv. So that's kind of what our train of thought. And then we carried some of those into Buffalo again. But, you have to kind of almost, tailor to the city you're in where different jokes are going to hit and ultimately read off the crowd. So, yeah, and it's cool just to work on your craft and just get better every show.
Oh, without a doubt. Do you have like obviously before you're lacing them up, you've got a pregame routine. Have you found your pregame routine for these shows yet? Like, are you going over stuff? Like, how much prep work is going in?
Yeah, we have. Usually I'll wake up, I'll go for a walk if it's nice enough, get the blood flowing. We'll usually do breakfast, and then we'll kind of take the afternoons for ourselves. And I'll usually write a little bit or just, write some jokes down that I know that are going to hit and just kind of get them in my head. Not that I'm going to look at that piece of paper, but it's going to put a mental note to give me that, I can go back when stuff, maybe has to veer a different way. And then I'll usually kind of lay down for a little bit. I'll go for a workout. I got the same workout I've been doing. It's kind of like a circuit, and then I'll lift a little bit, and then we'll meet 2 hours before the show for like a pregame dinner, go over a last little bit, talk some more, get the chemistry going. And then the thing we've really found that's worked is don't go to the venue too early because you don't want to be sitting there and thinking about it.
Yeah.
So go there maybe at most a half hour before. I like 15 minutes and just get in there, do a little dance, tell them the song you want to come out to, and just get right on stage. That's kind of the routine we found. And no booze is the biggest thing for me. Gucci will do like one espresso martini, but when we were first starting off and we were getting hammered before the shows, that's when we were looking at each other like, oh my God, like we're only 6.5 minutes in. We're talking way too fast and we're so shit faced up here. I don't even know what else to say. I think that was a good show. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, you just lose track of like where you are and what you want to say, and you're just not as dialed.
Yeah,
that's what's tough for me. I always think about comedians, and I mean, you guys are doing something similar to that, to being a stand-up comedian. Like, how do you know where you want to go kind of before when you're prepping, but what happens when you kind of lose your train of thought, or you don't know where you're going, or you forget like some really funny joke you did want to bring up, and you're like, "Fuck, I never brought that up. God damn it."
Yeah, that's the funny thing is you have this kind of loose plan of topics. We never talk lines. We just talk topics because I want his natural reaction. If I do have like one line, like it's 95% improv, but if you do have one line, I don't want to give it away before because I want his natural reaction, or he's going to want mine. But the funny thing is, Auzzo, it's like, okay, let's start off with this topic to start. It never goes that way. It never does. We get off on some tangent, and then it becomes just 100% improv, and it's just basically now it's just like feel. But the thing is with these shows is like you play hockey, every game slows down, and it's crazy. And when you don't know where to go for that split second, because in real time, that 10 seconds is going to feel like 10 hours where you kind of pause, but take the pause, look around, and be confident, because you have to sell yourself up there as someone that thinks you're funny. Because if you don't think you're funny, the audience ain't going to think you're funny. You have to have that confidence. And I also noticed standing up is a different skill than sitting down. So now we're working on standing up more. And in Buffalo, we stood up for probably, 80% of the show. Now that's a different feel. So you're standing up. Wow. It's actually more adrenaline. It's more like, holy, like, you're looking around, you're like, wow, I'm really commanding the room. But with that gives a little nervous energy. Sitting down, Auzzo, is different.
You're comfy.
Yes. Yep. So yeah, it's cool, man. It's I really enjoy the craft, and it's just cool that, everyone that came out to all three cities, and then we, finished it off with the Missing Curfew boys at a Buffalo Bills tailgate. That game was sick. Yeah, it was a good trip all in for sure.
Yeah, those jumpers in Buffalo looked incredible. Snow game, love those in the NFL. Are you guys bringing like merch to the like? Are you selling? Is there like a merch
Yep.
stand? I was gonna say if you're not doing that, you gotta imagine all these people coming to buy a shirt.
Yeah, they Chicago was great for merch sales. We have like that Let It Snow concert tour tee that we brought. We had hats. Buffalo, same thing. Yeah, in Canada, for whatever reason, the merch always goes way harder too. So that we'll bring that obviously to Toronto and Ottawa and Montreal because they don't want to pay $30 or $40 for shipping. So we can really drive home that merch with the good Canadian people. But
For
yeah,
sure.
that Buffalo Stadium, Auzzo, that's the last year they're playing there. Hilarious. It's so nails. It just feels like an old prison yard.
Yeah.
And I thought the one thing that was hilarious is they still have OJ Simpson's number retired on like the top little, raptor. They're a rafter.
That's all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard their new one is still going to be outdoors. It's just going to be, it's going to protect you from the wind a little more. Like this one's a little old school, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 1950s.
Yeah.
But Joey Burrow was just so good, and it's a shame that he threw those 2 picks on the last basically 2 plays. They kind of had him on the screws, and then Buffalo marches down, scores. The Bengals, they had one more good drive, but ultimately Josh Allen had that big time run to seal it. But Auzzo, that's enough on me, brother. I want you to talk about just this hockey fights cancer thing going on at the Sioux shop. I saw your post yesterday. Just touch on that and talk to the people how you can support the cause and buy the shirt, because I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought, it was not my idea. It was Jason Carlson's idea from the Sioux shop. He runs the Sioux shop at the Ralph Engelstad Arena. And I did think it was a good idea. Obviously a guy who's battled, been through cancer before, kind of still ongoing. I'm good right now, but obviously once you have it, you never really fucking know. So yeah, he brought it to me. He wanted to sell more shirts than last year. I thought it was a good idea. Usually you just have the little, poster or plate thing that says, who you're fighting for, and you hold it up.
Yeah.
This is actually a shirt, that you can wear. You don't have to hold a sign or anything. And then all the proceeds from these shirts just go to the American Society or American Cancer Society. So it's for a good cause. You can support people who are battling or who have battled cancer before. And, it was obviously something I would jump all over, obviously, because Jason fortunately did give me the T-shirt for free, which I'm never going to turn down a free T-shirt, Jordan. So, but yeah, it was something I could support, and they're going to be selling them at the Sioux shop. You can order them online. They're going to be selling them this weekend, and obviously, I think the last 2 years they've done it, Jordan, these shirts, and Jason was like, yeah, we've sold kind of the same amount of shirts the last 2 years, and I'm looking to kind of break that record and sell more. And I'm thinking of ways how we could do it. So he reached out to me. Obviously, I've got a decent following from Sioux fans on Twitter. So hopefully we can make those numbers jump a little bit on those sales. But, obviously it's a good cause. The money goes towards a good foundation. And, I think nowadays I have theories of why everyone's getting cancer, but nowadays pretty much everyone knows someone close, a friend, family member who has cancer. As unfortunate as that is, it's true. There's so many people that eventually get it or have had it. So I think it's just a good thing to do, and that's why I posted that picture. And hopefully Jason comes back to me telling me they sold more T-shirts in the past 2 years.
So twofold here. If I order a T-shirt, can I get a custom name bar on that shirt, or is it just a Kier? Can I get I Fight for Auzzo? Or
yeah, I don't know. I think it's just blank, so you got to put it in Sharpie like I did. I asked before I put it on. Jordan, I was like, hey, Gabby, like Trey, I got the shirt. I got to take a picture with it, post it. I honestly don't know who to write their name in here. Is it okay if I write myself? I just write myself.
Yeah.
we came to the conclusion that might be a little selfish, might come off a little selfish,
Yep.
or like I'm trying to get some attention or something like that. So ultimately veered away from that. But that's why I just said a cure. I don't really. A cure would be great. I think I have the cure. I don't want to speak on it just because I don't really know what I'm talking about. But ultimately, I think what it comes down to is just eating healthy and being a healthy human being. Is ultimately your best chance at avoiding this cancer thing.
So I can order the shirt and then I can write on it myself, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It comes empty, comes blank, and then you just take your Sharpie. It actually kind of puts some pressure on you because you kind of want the name centered. And then if you're not artsy like me, I don't know if I had that lettering centered or not, but
that's the thought that counts. But I wanted to get your take on we're not scientists or we're not doctors or we don't pretend to know a cure, but you make an interesting point there. You said, I think I know why more people are getting cancer. Is that, do you think it's more just lifestyle, nutrition? Do you think it's, obviously there's people, a ton of people that get it's bad luck too. You can't chalk it up to one thing, but do you have any thoughts on it just from a guy that's had it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, just for and obviously I don't know shit, but I do know what I know and what I've researched. Obviously, once this happens to you, Jordo, you get deep into the weeds on it. I mean, you're fucking doing everything you can to somehow get rid of this. And there's all sorts of different treatments, obviously, right? Well, the best thing to do would be to just prevent it and not get it. So I started looking into that, obviously, and I think why so many people have cancer is just from the difference in lifestyle we live from way back then to now. We're more exposed to all these. I don't know how deep you want to get in the weeds with it, but it's like our food is different. If you go look at McDonald's burger, how many ingredients they used to make the McDonald's burger back in 1980 versus today. There's probably like 25 extra ingredients in there today versus 1980. That stuff, we're all consuming that stuff out of the grocery store, cereals, all this stuff. All the stuff you find in the frozen food section, the snacks, all those Pop-Tarts, those types of things, Jordo, chips, whatever, ultra-processed stuff. Ultimately, that is definitely adding to the count. So, and I'm not saying you can never have that stuff. I'm just saying, it's probably best for you not to have an Eggo waffle every morning for your breakfast.
Right.
It's like anything else. Just don't have too much of it. It's have it every once in a while. You just can't make a diet out of this stuff. And then also, there's so many things like even your phone gives off radiation. That radiation is known to cause cancer, Jordo. Your phone gives off a ton of radiation. You can take out these radiation testers and put it up to next to your phone, and it's coming out of the phone like crazy. There's actually a warning on the iPhone, like safety hazards. You shouldn't put it within 5 inches of your head. So like when you're making a call and you got it up next to your ear, there's actually a warning in Apple's disclosure or whatever saying don't do that. It's very dangerous, but everyone does. So little things like that. I would say, as long as you can eat healthy, and when I mean healthy, it's just real food. It's like stuff that comes out of the ground, meat. That's real food. That stuff's not going to give you cancer. And then obviously working out is vital. It's huge. Exercise, any way you can do that. And then one of the things, obviously why I tried it and you've tried it, the 72-hour fast, that is also known to, repair damaged cells, which in the way we live lives right now, Jordan, our body never really enters that autophagy phase where your body actually starts recycling old cells and building them new. And the only way you can kind of reach that phase nowadays in our lives is to fast for, more than 36 hours. And Obviously, I did that, and I will continue to do it because it just has so many, benefits to doing it. But yeah, that type of stuff. I would just say, if you want to avoid it, just watch what you're eating, watch what you're drinking, and that's pretty much all you can do at this point. I mean, like you said, there's a million different reasons why people get cancer, and they all play a factor. I just do think there is stuff you can do to kind of prevent it from happening. Now, obviously, if you're fat and out of shape, you're raising your risk.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I think that's the biggest thing, Auzzo, is what you can do as prehab or prevention to give yourself the best chance not to go down that road. But ultimately, as we know, there's so many different factors in. But if you can kind of take out the variables that you can control, now you're at a less of a percentage per se than the individual that may not take care of themselves as well. So I think you make a lot of good points there, and obviously you're educated enough to speak on it as a guy that's gone through it and done his research. And so I think it's cool. I think the Sioux Shop, they're doing a cool thing there. So go check it out if you're at the Ralph or SiouxShop.com. Auzzo, that leads us into our next little segment. I'm always going to you as the People's Sioux Hockey Insider. Big weekend at St. Cloud this past weekend. The boys are rolling. You've spoke on Will Zellers. You spoke on EJ Emery. Both those young studs are heading to the World Junior evaluation camp in terms of the last phase, a preliminary roster to ultimately play in that tournament. So as a guy that knows college hockey, as a guy that has watched this team a lot, over the years, and especially this year, do these two young men have a good chance to make this World Junior team? Talk to me on that front, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I would obviously when you put together a team, what's Herb Brooks' line, Jordo? We're not picking the player, we're picking a team or whatever.
We're not looking for the best player, we're looking for the right player.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, you never know how it's going to work out. I did tweet out, there's no way Will Zellers isn't in the top 14 U.S. forwards, and I stand by that take. He's probably in the top 6 to 7, I would say. Now, they do have a lot of skill up front. Does he fit? Is he the right player? That'll be up to Bob Motzko. He's the head coach of the team. I would say he is. You're looking for guys who come down, they're clutch. They make plays when it matters in these tournaments. That's the type of player you're looking for. That is who Will Zellers is. He makes big plays when it matters. He scores big goals when it matters. I don't understand how they could possibly leave this guy off the team. I haven't watched too many of the guys out east that'll be on the team, so it's tough to say from that standpoint. Now we'll move on to EJ Emery. Jordo, this kid last year, at this time, if you would have told me he'd be on the World Junior roster this year, I would have said no fucking chance, buddy. There ain't no way. He doesn't have it in him yet. This kid has progressed at such a crazy rate. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if he's just coming into his body a little better, but you can't get by this guy. I mean, he just absolutely, in the St. Cloud series, Jordan, he just absolutely manhandled this, what was his name? I tweeted it out. I forget this guy's name on St. Cloud. He's on their first line. He's a 6'3", 210-pound forward. EJ Emery just manhandled him on a one-on-one rush. I mean, it was one of the best defensive plays I'd seen. And then also, not only is this guy unbelievable in the D zone, and you cannot get by him, he also now has added poise and confidence to his offensive puck handling, and when he's in the out zone. He's confident with the puck at the point. He doesn't turn it over. He seems to, for the most part, probably something he'd still work on, but he seems to make the right play in the O-zone. He creates offense now. The amount this guy has gotten better since 12 months ago, it's pretty insane to see. I would put it up there with Nicky Schmaltz type, sophomore campaign. Maybe not that crazy, but from the freshman year to the sophomore year, it's just it's crazy to see. I mean, I can't say I'm surprised though, Jordo. I mean, we kind of knew this would happen. The Rangers drafted him off potential, not who he was at the current time, right? Like this kid can jump 40 inches high. He's fast. He's got 2% body fat. He's a big body. He'll come into his own, and that is what he has done so far. I would say if he keeps progressing at this rate, he's going to find himself. I don't think he's going to sign after this year with the Rangers, but after the junior season, I think he'll find himself, in the lineup for that team if he does keep on this path that he's on. Now, it's hockey. Anything could happen. I don't know what the kid's off-ice habits are, but just judging from how much he's progressed, I'd say he's taking it pretty seriously, man. He's gotten a lot better. I don't know how. I haven't asked the coaches what he's been doing. Is he eating his Wheaties? He's doing something, and whatever he's doing, he's got to keep doing it.
Yeah, it was. You tweeted out that Bernovic was the kid's name on St. Cloud, and
hell of a player too.
As EJ Emery, first of all, he's a great kid. He came on Live in 5 as a young 18-year-old. He was in the dorms in the summers. He spent up there just after getting drafted, and he was one of our first 50 guests we had on. He was a young kid full of life. Obviously, the athleticism has been there, but what I've seen from him is just his skating ability has gotten better, in particular defending off the rush, defending lines, directing traffic with his stick, and ultimately closing on guys. And as his puck skills continue to get better, I don't even think the UND coaching staff knew what this kid had in store for him. I think at the start of the season, look, he might have been a guy that might have been fighting for a job on that blue line.
I thought he would be.
Yep. And now it's to the point where he's commanding a top 4 role and a top, even top pairing defenseman. And it's cool to see when kids flourish, and especially when you go through that learning curve, because it can go two ways, Auzzo. You can completely lose your confidence and you can plummet. And people even outside of North Dakota were questioning this kid's game. Is he going to be even a legit American leaguer? Like there was, the trajectory in the development curve isn't linear. So you always start to second guess or doubt or wonder what this kid is going to be after a freshman campaign where you're 18 years old and you're still really raw and trying to find your way at the college hockey ranks. But I'm just so happy for this kid that he has it. Just the biggest thing is the confidence I think he's had, and he's growing into his body, like you said, and now you're seeing the athleticism pop out and shine. I really hope he makes this team because he's such a good young man, and I'm really always in his corner rooting for him. So it's cool to see. Just even that Minnesota series we were at earlier in the year. Yeah, we were 12 drinks deep. You could tell he had a different attitude, and even his puck skills at that point were getting better. And it just seems like Auzzo, at least from what I gather, especially I trust your scout, is he's getting better every weekend still. Like it's like the sky is the limit for this young man.
He is, yeah, and obviously, I think some point that'll plateau. I mean, you battle injuries or whatever, little nagging injuries that no fan knows about. And obviously, I think it's clear to see he's riding a confidence high right now. His confidence is through the roof, which is something you do need to ride. I mean, as well as I do, that's one of the hardest parts to keep intact and keep throughout an entire season is your confidence at that high level. It's something that kind of goes up and down depending on the sway and flow of the game and the season and how you're feeling. But right now he's riding that confidence. And like you said, he's getting better every single weekend. It's not like it's crazy to see. I mean, I know I'm a homer with the North Dakota guys, but I have watched a lot of his game, obviously, because he's a first rounder and you expect a lot out of him. And from last year, he was, like you said, coming into this year, I was worried he wasn't going to find a spot in the lineup. I mean, look at this back end. They got a ton of guys that can be impact players, and I just didn't think there was a ton of room. And he is now you picture this decor without him in the lineup, and you're like, fuck, we're missing a big piece here.
Yeah, for sure. And, it's going to be cool to see these guys wind down the first half. Who do they have this weekend, Auzzo, in terms of are they at home? Are they at home?
Omaha at the Ralph.
They're playing Omaha already? Again?
Again.
Wow.
Yeah.
playing them twice before the new year. Eh? That's a little bit different.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what our record was 2015, 2016 when we were kind of just rolling, but I mean, they got a chance to go 14-4 before Christmas. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus. Playing the NCHC, you played the Gophers. I know they split there, but that's a pretty damn good record, especially, Jordo, when everyone thought this would be a down year.
Yeah.
We didn't even know who's going to be on the team in, like, I don't know when it was, June, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, they've really turned it around. I mean, I can't say, Jaden Perron left to Michigan. Owen McLaughlin left to BU.
Yep.
That, to me, was like, oh, well, we'll see you later.
And Beauvert.
Thanks for your service. Beauvert, Sasha leaving, that one hurt. I did think he was a Sioux player. I liked his game. He was unbelievable for us last year. But now it's like, I mean, Perron's on Michigan. They're up there. They're one of the best teams in the country. So obviously he's probably having a good time. But you just got to think about, like, those two boys who headed to BU, and BU's having a tough season so far. So,
yeah, and Perron wasn't like, I'm sure he's a decent kid, but we gave him every chance to be an impact player, and he just wasn't it. So it's not like we were losing sleep over that, Auzzo, but I do think if you look back at the timeline of when Dane Jackson gets hired, he brings on Bryn Chiswick. Obviously, Dylan Simpson stays on the staff. We get Matt Schmaby in the mix, and we really start gaining momentum. But you have to go back to one little place in Clearwater, Florida, where this all began. And it's a little spot called Hooters, my friend. It's a spot called Hooters. And I will never forget, we're all sitting there. Dane Jackson had just rolled into town. All the boys are getting ready for the golf trip. It's the meat and cheese night. And we're sitting there, and Jax takes a phone call. And the service cuts out. He kind of walks away from the bar, walks back to us. He's like, I don't know. He's kind of flustered. Walks back again, comes back to us, and he's kind of got a little, like, pep in his step, but we didn't really know how the phone call went. And he looks at us, he goes, "We got him, boys. Woo!" And we got, Keaton Verhoff and Cole Reshny, and it's like, oh my God, okay, well, now we're back. It was shots. Let's go. Let's get the tequila flying. And, Chiswick's biting his shirt, just, nervous wreck to see how this phone call goes, because they had put so much time into recruiting these young men. And so I do think that Hooters in Clearwater, Florida was the turning point for the 25-26 season. And then, you ultimately, I just think, you go in and you get boots on the ground. We're all there for the Minnesota series. You meet some of the parents, meet the kids. It's like, wow, this really has a UND like feel again. That was kind of frankly missing through the transfer portal for the last 2 or 3 years, because it was just a weird time, but it just feels like we got that back, which is good. But Auzzo, I wanted to ask you, so World Juniors, you obviously have that. The other young men that won't be participating in that will most likely all be going home for the Christmas break. But then you have the Spengler Cup. Now, Abraham Wiebe, Jake Livanovich, they're going to head over to Switzerland, a country I played in Davos, which is a beautiful little ski town in the Swiss Alps. Now, do you like these guys going over there? Do we like the fact that, we're going to be playing against pro hockey players? Like, there's a lot of good, Swiss league teams. Obviously, Sweden sent the team, Finland, potentially a German league team. Do we like the fact that these guys are going over there? Do we think this is good exposure, or do we worry about injury, or is that's just hockey and it's good for these kids to play at that level?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. I was thinking about it. I don't know if I have a decision, Jordan. I don't know. I don't like stopping guys from playing extra hockey, and this is obviously a great opportunity. But, for me, letting a guy go play World Juniors, okay, great. You're going to put on your country's jersey.
Yeah.
The Spengler Cup, are you really playing for the USA? Are you playing against other countries? Is it really? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously, what's more important is obviously everyone's trying to make the NHL, right, Jordan? So everyone wants to make the NHL, whatever, exposure you can get, whatever experience you can get. to get yourself closer to the NHL is great. So that's good for these college players. They'll get to play pro players. They'll get a taste of that. They'll probably come back. If they don't get injured, they'll be better for it. They'll have that experience. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. What is the Spengler Cup? What are we playing for here?
Well, my whole thing is a lot of these players, if they do end up in Europe, they'll have a chance to play in the Spengler Cup. And look, it's the first year they're sending college players. I do think it's a cool concept. Auzzo, I would just argue that, okay, if you want these kids playing more hockey, why don't we just do a U22, call it, or 22 and up, of all the best college hockey players from the U.S. and Canada, and play a best of 3 with those teams. So now you have an all-Canadian team of college players that are 22 years or older, or 21 years or older, so you can't play or not eligible for the World Juniors, and you play USA versus Canada, and you do a best of 3 somewhere. How sick would that be?
I feel like the guys would be more invested in that.
Right? Because now you're playing for your country in a sense of, best on best in college.
What is the Spengler Cup, Jordan? I know there's like a Canadian team over there. Is it actually nations playing, or is there fucking HV71 playing in this thing?
So it's both, Auzzo. It's Canadian pros that play in Europe. They've always sent a team. USA has never sent a team. They have never done it. So this year they're sending USA, but is it all college players that are playing for USA, or is there pros as well for USA? I don't even know, to be honest, because all the Canadian players in the past are either guys playing in Europe or guys that are in the American Hockey League that have played NHL games, or honestly, sometimes they bring NHL vets in that haven't really played that year, but are still looking to further on their career. Say like a Sam Gagner, like last year, who played in the Spengler Cup. Scotty Upshaw played in it one year when he wasn't in the league.
Yeah.
Jason Demers did the same thing, where you might be hurt or you might not have an NHL contract, so you go over there and play for Canada. But predominantly, it's just Canadian pros playing in Europe, and then you'll have the host team Davos, and then it's one team from the Finnish league, one team from the Swiss league, two teams from the Swiss league, one team from the Swedish league, and then a German league team. Russia used to be involved, but not anymore. It's like 5 or 6 teams.
See that, that's cool for the professional teams over in Europe. It's great. Right. What the fuck does that mean to these college players right here?
I don't know.
I'm looking at this U.S. team. It's all college players. It's
right. That's what I thought it was. So why wouldn't you just do USA just pro guys? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I
always wondered why USA didn't have a team.
It is cool. I guess it's cool. I'm not saying that. If I was offered, Jordo, in college to go play for this team, I'd say, fuck yeah, let's go do it. I just don't really fully get it. I mean, I guess it's more hockey, but I'd rather have them play an extra weekend over here. Just play 2 more games for the University of North Dakota.
Yeah, or if you're going to do some sort of showcase, do it USA versus Canada. And then now all these free agents, because a lot of them either going to be free agents or they're later round picks if you're 21 or you're a junior or a senior. Now you have a legitimate look at NHL teams sending their entire brass and scouts playing best on best in college. Now you can be like, okay, is it Ausmus or Schmaltz? Who do I want to sign if we're both free agents, right? Who played better when it was best on best, and that was a way for them to showcase their game in a bigger setting. To me, that makes more sense versus going to play against a 37-year-old who's hung off a 4-day bender over Christmas, and he's playing for HV71, like you said, and he doesn't give a fuck. And all of a sudden, he takes liberties on you because you're a 21-year-old. Like, I don't know.
Does this tournament mean anything to the European teams? Because they already have the Champions League, right? So they probably care about that. I mean, do they actually care about the Spengler Cup, or is it just like, we get to go to Switzerland, I guess, kind of be sick?
From my understanding, it's just like a week-long bender in the Swiss Alps where families get together, they can ski. It's a beautiful town. Like I said, the rink is very cool. It's like an old cathedral. It's like the Mecca of European hockey. It really is. When you walk in there, it's legitimately like a cathedral. It feels like a church. But I don't know. So for me, is the juice worth the squeeze to go all the way over there and play in a tournament that doesn't really mean a whole lot? The experience will be cool. I do think that for the kids, like you'll be able to remember that, and you kind of check box mark
Yeah.
or you check a box of, hey, I played in the Spengler Cup, but I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. I think there's other cool stuff you could do, like I mentioned.
There definitely is. And then, Penn State wouldn't be taking 8 weeks off mid-season
Right.
to go play a bunch of hung, ex-NHLers.
Right. Or like it just,
it's like, I just I don't really get it. I think, like you said, it would be awesome for these guys. I mean, are these U.S. guys going over there like it's the World Championships? Like, is it a bender for these college kids too? I mean,
I think they're going to be taking it pretty seriously because they're going to need all the
energy. How do you think they're going to do against these teams?
You know what? I think they're going to come out and they're going to be the most prepared and the highest octane in terms of energy and excitement for these games. I don't know how they're going to fare against pro hockey teams that have played together for pretty much the whole year, other than besides Canada, who kind of does a similar thing, but with pro players playing overseas. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. I honestly really don't know because, like I said, it just kind of depends on the club you're playing for. Like some of these teams, like Davos, the host team, they pay their guys certain amount of dollars if they win or they finish second or bronze. So those guys they're playing hard. But for the team for IFK Helsinki that goes over there, who are Finland sending, they lose the first game. They might just be like, "Fuck it, let's just get drunk." Same with a Swedish league team or a German league team. You lose the first one and then you lose in a shootout. You're mathematically out. You're like, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird tournament though. Like it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? But it's been around forever.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I was just wondering. I wonder if they'll do it again next year. But I guess we'll figure that out. But
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see how that goes. But Auzzo, we might have to get our boy Bess out of Vancouver here. I know we touched on it a couple of weeks ago, but Quinn Hughes is looking like he is 2 feet out. You're looking for either a willing trade partner in the New Jersey Devils, which would be the obvious, or the I've heard rumblings of the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah.
But Bess signs that deal, and obviously you take your $50 million, but it's just like that team without Quinn Hughes and Bess right now is an American Hockey League team. Their roster sucks. Like they're horrible.
Yeah.
Bess is playing with David Kampf. Like no disrespect to David Kampf, but David Kampf's a fourth line center. That's Besser's center. Like fuck me.
They're terrible. They're brutal. I don't know where they're going. And I think it's so funny, Jordan, when you tweet out stuff about Vancouver, these fans get so pissed. It's like they don't know their team sucks. It's like, are you serious? You guys suck. How do you not know that? You watch them every night. Why aren't you not agreeing with me? Why are you trying to tell me you guys are unbelievable? You suck.
Yeah. It's that might be the dumbest fan base in all of sports, those people. And I always get them fired up with, I call it Chin-Coover, because obviously we say chin, and just, I don't know, one of our fans said it at a HB3 show one time, was just like Chin-Coover, and they just take it as racist. They're like, oh yeah, you're racist. It's like, dude, we sell all of our merch on our site that says chin, dude, relax. So that's always funny. But yeah, I just think, I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on there. That team is brutal, and Quinn Hughes seems like he is pretty much done there. Whether they trade him within the next month or, at the end of the season, it's just like, oh my God, I feel for Bess, but what can you do? You just, you make your $7.5 million and pass go, and life's okay. The sushi's still good in Vancouver, and it's you're gonna be all right. I
go back and forth on that, Jordo. Like, should you feel bad for these guys? Obviously they're competitors. The money really doesn't matter. I'd like to think a lot of these guys would be playing in the National League, even if they weren't paying them much, because they just love fucking hockey and they love competing. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at a guy who's getting paid $8 million a year to go play hockey, do I really feel bad for him if his team is losing?
Right.
Am I supposed to? Like, I want the best for Bess, but he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he will be fine. He'll be just fine. Every 2 weeks you're getting a decent sized check. Like life's okay. Even though with the Canadian tax and your team sucks and it rains every day and you might be slightly depressed because seasonal depression kicks in. Just check your US Bank app and realize that, you know what, it's pretty good, dude. Like it's a good league at the end of the day. The fillet still tastes good. And, you spending $100 is like most people spending 10,000. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. Life's okay, brother. You'll be just fine. Just take care of what you need to, score 30 odd goals, and you won't get bought out.
Yeah, that's all you can do. I was laughing though that the Red Wings are still hanging on, Jordo. They're at the top of the Atlantic, in first place, and they got a -7 goal differential.
Yeah, they and they stink, and they're somehow just hanging around.
They ain't gonna hang on to that, are they?
No, they're not. They're most definitely not. But that's a weird division right now. You got Ottawa, you got Detroit. There's a lot of just pretenders kind of in that division. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird one. Like they haven't got what they've needed to from guys like Mo Sider. Kane's obviously been banged up. I think we can both agree. I know he's your boy, but JT Compher, is kind of depreciating like an asset that might be on the back nine. Andrew Kopp, I mean, not perfect, but somehow they're sitting at the top of this Atlantic division with 35 points. They're 16-11. And like, we didn't think Boston was going to be any good. Obviously Tampa Bay's in the mix, Auzzo, but that's just a weird division to me. Like, how the fuck are the Detroit Red Wings, even sitting here on December the 9th or whatever, at the top of that one? Because it just doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't. It's in Boston being up there. You mentioned that. I mean, they were supposed to be tanking for the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And now, they're in a playoff position. That's a tight league. That's a tight division, though. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's going to be interesting down the stretch because that top 3 is going to be jumbled all year long, I think, because, you look at the point differential, it's, even the Buffalo Sabres, they're not even out of it yet.
No, and I think it's just such a weird year when you're playing this many games going into the Olympic break where the parity in the league, it just seems like you obviously have the top teams, but doesn't it just seem like everyone's just kind of 500? Like they're just you play every fucking day. So you win one, you lose one. And it's just, you check the standings, like the wild card in the West, Edmonton's got 31 points, San Jose 31, Utah 31, Chicago 30, Winnipeg 29, St. Louis 29, Seattle 28, even Calgary, who everyone's like, they're fucking terrible. They have 28 points. So it's like, and even we're talking about Vancouver, they're one of the worst teams in the league, and they still are only 6 points out of it. Like
they're 3 wins away.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just a weird year. I just think those guys are just playing way too much hockey. We've talked about it, but what can you do? Like
they are. That reminds me, Jordan, this Olympic thing. It's so funny to me. One, there's so many funny things about it. Okay. One, how did we mess up the size of the rink? Like, did they just forget to order like a piece of board, or did someone have the measurement wrong? Did they get cheap? Like, how does that happen? And then also you got these guys coming out saying, we're going to leave it up to the players. If they don't feel safe, we're going to call it off. Like, what do you think these players are going to fucking say that they don't feel safe because there's 2 feet missing on the ice? Like, these guys are itching for this tournament. They don't give a fuck.
They've only waited 12 years to play in the Olympics, Bill Daly. And Bill Daly is the deputy commissioner, so Gary's assistant commissioner. And he comes out and says, well, if the players don't feel safe, we're not going to play in it. Bill, they've been lobbying to get back in the Olympics, to play in the Olympics since 2014, brother. Do you think they're going to call it off because the ice is 196 by 83 or whatever it is? And to your point, how do you fuck up the size of the ice? So that leads me to believe that they built, obviously, the arena and the seats that are permanent inside the rink too low and just miscalculated the dimensions, which is the most European thing I could ever think
yeah.
of, which is just like, so were they operating in meters instead of feet and they just fucked it up? That's probably what happened, right?
For sure, it was some measurement that was wrong, and they're obviously trying to rush shit because it's the Olympics. All these buildings get built for billions of dollars, and they never really get used again. It's just a huge waste of money. So they're just rushing this build of this arena, and they just fuck up the size of the ice. I mean, it's hilarious. I don't know how that happens.
And it's not like these Olympic cities are picked a year from the date of the Olympics.
You have like 20 years to
You
play.
have, I think you have about a dozen years at least. How do you not have the arena already? Like, what was Milan, Italy doing for the last decade when they knew they were going to have the Olympics? Were they just putting it off? Were they just hammering vino and drinking cappuccinos?
Yeah,
Smoking darts?
that's the thing too. And I was thinking, when you think about the Olympics, okay, what is a sport where, if you cancel it, what do these Olympics even mean? I would say for the Winter Olympics, I mean, is there a bigger one than hockey?
No.
Like, that's the biggest sport they have. So how do we not have this arena dialed in for the Olympics? It's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't take 12 years to build an arena.
And we don't have one backup arena in Milan that has ice?
They play there's a professional league in Italy.
I know, and they almost had a KHL team like 3 or 4 different times. They're not one other arena in Milan. There used to be the pro Italian league before they ran out of dust money and mob money. Used to be one of the higher paying ones in the early 2000s. There's not one other arena.
There has to be. This has to be some type of a scam from Gary and the boys in the NHL headquarters, because they don't want them playing. I mean,
no,
they don't.
Mean, that's why they're hammering them with the schedule.
Yeah.
And the Auzzo, the thing is like the Olympics is going to be great, but guys that play in the gold medal game, teams literally play 2 or 3 days after the gold medal game. So you fly back 12, 15 hours if you're playing in Vancouver or Edmonton or LA, and then you just go right back into the NHL season. Like, these guys are going to be, everyone's going to be banged up. Like, it's just, that's the fact. It's truly remarkable how on every level they've dropped the ball with this thing. It's retarded.
And then how much hockey can you realistically play too? It's like, you're going to have a lot of these guys from Florida and Edmonton going to play in this Olympics. How much hockey can those guys play? I know they're freak athletes, but they're going to break down at some point. No, it already seems like they have. I mean, Edmonton's not that good this year. Florida's way out of playoffs right now. I know it's close, but
they're banged up. I mean,
they're banged up. It's like, how long can you keep going? I mean, they've played so much hockey. The human body can't possibly take this much.
Well, you play, if you're Florida, you play 3 finals in a row. Then you play 4 nations. Then you play Olympics. Then you play, and before the Olympics, you play a condensed schedule of 60 games before, or 57 games before February 2nd. It's like, what are we? And then you're gonna expect them to go on a full run just after that, another condensed schedule to get it in the regular season before April, and then play another 3 months potentially. Unless you're on the peptides, what's your recovery program here?
Yeah, exactly. And like, as a player, and an agent or whatever, your fucking personal trainer, are you not worried about this a little bit? I mean, look at the workload Matthew Tkachuk has had in the past 3 years, or Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. Look at the workload they've had in the past 3 years. I mean, at some point, does this not kind of shorten the length of your overall career? You got to be worried about that a little bit.
I mean, you're going to tell me that Sasha Barkov in a normal year gets hurt in a routine pre-training camp skate or training camp skate? No, he doesn't tear his ACL. No. I'm sorry. Unless he's been through what he's been through. No, because you play 3 and then you play the 4 nations and you come back and it's like, well, I had to take off essentially the whole summer off the ice because I had to recover because my body is fucking in one. And then you ramp it up to an NHL level of training camp, and you know how horny that gets.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you can't tell me that's not just a byproduct of how much hockey they played.
It for sure is.
Right? I mean, you can't tell me otherwise. You really can't.
No.
Yeah, I'm interested, Auzzo, and it sucks Russia's not going to be there too.
It doesn't even feel real without them
Right.
there. I mean, look at their roster. They make some noise. They could easily find themselves in the gold medal game.
Yeah.
It's not going to feel real without them there. How are we going to be watching? We're not going to get Ovi and Malkin and Kucherov, and it's stupid. I mean, Kaprizov in the Olympics would be fucking incredible.
Panarin.
It's just so dumb. Whatever. There's a war going on. Who the fuck cares? I mean,
it's not their
fault.
fault.
These guys are hockey players.
Yeah, like we're not going to get the Russian tuxedos and guys drinking vodka and stumbling around the Olympic Village or passed out outside of a bar in Milan smoking darts and then going to play a game just whacking Kazakhstan. Like that's like the whole thing with yellow laces and tint and stinky jerseys and the Russian red and the trainers and the coaches. It's just like that's the whole show in itself. That could be a reality TV show. And we're not going to get that.
No, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
What are some of these countries? What's like the craziest country in the Olympics? There's always some where it's like they basically have Bantam hockey, like Bantam players playing it.
Yeah, I don't even know who else is because those countries have to qualify, right? So they play in those preliminary qualifiers like 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
So it's always like China, Kazakhstan, Slovenia, Belarus. I would say probably Norway, Denmark are in that kind of same realm.
If Australia has a team or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Or Chucky Slick in the Spanish roller league. You know, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. Or Iceland. Like, there's always a couple of those shitty countries that qualify, and you just go in there and you just beat the bag off them, which is great for point night.
Oh, how nice would that feel if you're on the U.S. club or the Canada club and you get to go play fucking just some absolute. I mean, they're pylons out there.
Yeah, I mean, even Italy's going to have a team in there this year. They're going to get fucking whacked,
killed.
In Switzerland, they're not perfect, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Olympic hockey. I don't know how they're going to do it with one arena. That's also hilarious if that does get done because usually you have at least 2 arenas to play games at just for those lower level games. But it sounds like they're rolling with one, so they're going to have to be doing at least 2 games a day. I think early on it might be 3 some days.
That ice is going to be shit.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible. Like,
it's going to be awful. Just chippy, fucking rivets in the ice. Probably some injury worries. God damn.
Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. Lastly, before we get to the People's Insider Term of the Week, Auzzo, Phillip Rivers is back on the practice squad. He's 44 years old. He is on a Vince Papale open tryout for the Indianapolis Colts. He's in the chin of the Midwest right now. Why is this guy playing football? Does he hate his wife? Does he want to get away from his kids? Does he truly love ball that much? 44 years old, hasn't played, I think, in 5 years, maybe 6 or 7, I want to say. I'd have to check the game notes on that. But why is Phillip Rivers attempting a comeback? I wouldn't think he's broke, but what is going on here?
Why is he attempting a comeback? Why is he even in football shape? Do you have to be in football shape if you're a quarterback? Like, do you really get that tired? You just take snaps, read the field, throw the ball. I guess you need your arm to be in shape. This guy clearly just loves football, though, Jordo. I mean, I don't know any way other to explain it. I mean, most of these guys quit. Like, look at Andrew Luck. He's like half the age of Phillip Rivers. He's been retired for like 10 years already.
Yep.
Phillip Rivers, he's gotta want to get out of the house. I don't know what his plan is, though. Like, football is a sport where, you know, if you're not in tip-top shape, Jordo, you could easily be killed. I mean, if I took a snap out there right now, I could easily be killed by one of these defensive linemen.
Yes.
You know, you got to be careful when you're going out there. I mean, you can't just be some fucking out-of-shape 44-year-old, you know. He's got to be in shape. I don't understand it. Like from his point of view, I mean, you're going to go out there and get banged up again at
Yeah.
44 when you've already got over 100 million in the bank.
It's pretty funny too that Phillip Rivers can get off his couch after doing a Gillette commercial after 7 years and get a job on a practice squad, and Colin Kaepernick is still jobless. I mean, you can take out the politics and everything that's involved with that, but it's just, I think it's pretty funny that Phillip Rivers could just get off the couch and be like, yeah, I think I want to play a little bit. And then, meanwhile, you got Kaepernick, who's got a team of 20 camera guys, and he's been training for a decade. He still can't get a job.
He's still ready. I saw a tweet. I don't know if it was like a joke or not, but he's ready.
Oh,
That's
man.
So good.
Like, he's got Cap's got to feel a type of way after that, bro. Damn.
They're calling Philly Rivers in over me. Eh?
Yeah. Jesus. Where did I go left when I should have went right?
Yeah, maybe don't piss off those NFL owners.
Yeah.
You forget they're pretty powerful.
Yeah, they are. But I just think, politics aside, that's good comedy. That's Phillip Rivers went in his backyard and threw one spiral with a youth-sized Wilson to his kid. He threw a go route 20 yards. He get a job at fucking Cap. His Cap's spending $300,000 a year and he can't get a job. Like, how funny is that?
It's got three to four cameramen hired with creative guys telling him what to do, and he's slinging it out there, and just no one's calling.
He's butt funneling protein. He's, you know what I mean, eating clean, hasn't drank a drop in 10 years, and he can't get a job, dude. That sucks. That must just be like the ultimate dick punch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's fucking funny. So, yeah, shout out to Phil Rivers. Hey, man, I guess do what you love, and I would love to see him on the field. That would be fucking classic because you never know. Like, he takes one hit, Auzzo, he might just end up dead. You know what I mean? You're 44, you haven't got hit like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like, you're 44. I know. I think, Tom Brady played kind of to that age, but that's Tom Brady. I mean,
right.
No one else.
And he also didn't take 6-7 years off.
No, imagine taking that long. I mean, I'd be terrified to step into a hockey game right now with, I don't know how many years, 5 years off or whatever. I'm in pretty good shape. I wouldn't be scared about that, but like just the feel of the game and
awareness,
being aware of when a guy is going to take your head off. Yep. That's part of the game where I would be scared in a hockey game because I wouldn't have that awareness. I just wouldn't be used to that. And it's got to be even more severe in football. So I don't know. It's fucking wild. I don't know if he's actually going to play a game. I mean, are they actually going to trot him out there? I mean, come on.
I don't know. I mean, it could just be a PR move, or it could be just to get one last, who knows if he's got some dirt on somebody in that office, or he's got a buddy that's a coach, or, maybe they're just, out of respect. I don't know. But hopefully, hopefully he doesn't go full Mark Sanchez when he's in the greater Indianapolis area either, too, because that could be bad as well. But we wish Philly Rivers Ocean the best. Auzzo, this week's People's Insider Term of the Week. And this week's People's Insider Term of the Week is Hurtin' Albertan. Now, a Hurtin' Albertan is another way to say I am stung. You wake up, you have a massive headache, you might have puked, but you're just in bed and you can barely move. It's another way to say you're hungover. It's another way to say you're stung. It's another way to say you're stung cheese, but you're just so stung that you're a hurtin' Albertan. You were probably on the whiskey late. You were probably crushing beers. The fireball might have got out. You might have been on the grapes where you have that vino hangover and it just hits you right on the chin, right on the forehead. And you text your boys in that group chat and said, what did we do last night? I am a hurtin' Albertan, fella. So, Auzzo, it's just another way to say, my God, did we get in one? Holy fuck, did we get shit-faced? And what the hell happened last night? Because I woke up like a hurtin' Albertan after a night on the oil rigs and a night at Cowboys in Calgary. I can't even fucking see straight.
That's a good one, too. Yeah, those oil rig boys, they are hurting in Albertan when they go out. That's a good one. I'm going to use that next time I am hungover. And I'm actually excited to be pretty hungover, Jordan. I haven't been too hungover in a while. I'm excited to get to that point again.
Yeah. It was. We had a nice shift Saturday, Sunday with the big fella Obes. I'm heading to Aspen this week for that charity game, and I love when Obes' tying went on. He probably had, I'm not kidding you, on Saturday night, probably had 50 Jameson shots, like legit, from start to finish for the day. But he always looks at me, he goes, Swishy, we're going to be hungover, but it's not going to be today. That's a great line too. You know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. We got that charity game this weekend in Aspen. Quick turnaround for your boy. Get your rest, Swishy. I'm getting an IV tomorrow, but yeah, it comes in waves, Auzzo. Like I don't really like to drink just to drink anymore. Like I never drink at home, obviously, but if you're not really doing an event, I would rather stay off it just because like at the end of the day, it is poison and we are getting older. But it's always so fun to tie one on when you're at some sort of event, isn't it? It's
nothing like it.
The piss is the piss, man. Fuck me.
It's the best, man. You just create so many good memories. I know you forget half of them, but the camaraderie that comes with it too, like the guys you're with, you really are going to battle with,
Yeah, you are.
In a different way, but you just create so much camaraderie between you and those fellas who go through it together. It's something that, as a guy who had cancer, I probably shouldn't do it anymore, but there ain't no way I'm going to not do it ever.
Yeah, you got to pick your spots for sure, but definitely, the piss, dude. It's, I don't know. One of these days I would like to get down to, my goal would be 10 to 12 times a year, but I'm just not there yet.
No.
I'm just not there.
I'm not there yet either.
I would say I'm probably, fuck, I don't even want to think about it, but yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? If you're like a once a month, like just go full retard for once a month, like you're like a 12 time a year guy, whether some months you don't drink, some months you stack it with 2, but I'm just not there yet, man. I don't know if it'll be 35 or 40, but, both of our dads don't drink, which is hilarious.
I know I've never seen my dad drink really ever.
No, like at most I'll get maybe 1 margarita out of Fuzz like a year.
Yeah, my dad will have a few, like he switches back, Coors, Mick Ultra.
Yeah,
have a couple.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
It's that's probably why they look good at their age too. At the same time, so.
Probably
it's not rocket science over here.
No, it's not.
It really isn't. Auzzo, always fun snapping around with you, brother. It's been a minute, been about 10, 12 days, whatever it was, but that was episode 107 on the chin. You got anything this weekend? Are you tying one on this weekend, or what do you got, fella?
No, I'm actually going to drive up to Grand Forks tomorrow evening. It's Tuesday right now. I'm going to drive up there Wednesday evening, stay there. Hopefully catch the game Friday, and then I'm back to the Twin Cities Metro on Saturday. Gabby's got a new airport she's working for, and they have a work party that I am supposed to attend. So maybe I do tie one on here. Maybe this is my chance to, because this is an event. I don't know if she's sitting around or not, but like this is an event where like, if you're not drunk, it might be the worst fucking night of your life.
Yeah. You might be just getting licked. Like you might just have to go in there and just get pinned just to talk to those people.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a community service shift, brother. Yeah. It really is. It really is. So.
But then, I'm getting brownie points by going. I don't want to, kind of destroy those by making an ass out of myself.
Yeah.
It's a fun line. I'll have to tiptoe. I'll have to, walk that line. Try not to fall off the edge.
Yeah, don't go full Stetcher like wedding, eh?
Yeah, we'll try to stay away from that one.
Oh, man, that's good shit. Auzzo, always tape to tape with you, Cap. That was episode 107 on the chin, brought to you by Mini Movers and Butter Golf, folks. It's the holiday season. If you need a quote for a move coming up in the spring, give the Cap a shout. Minimovers.com, Mini Movers on Instagram, Twitter. Folks, that was Live in 5. Auzzo, always a blast snapping it with you, my friend. 107 on your chin. Woo!